Good morning, all. Thank you for coming, and we will begin with a pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's important stuff in there. Cookies.
I know, I saw it.
Okay. We are able to review and approve the minutes for December and January meetings. Was there a motion? Was there any corrections to the December minutes? No. Okay. Is there a motion to approve, please? Second. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Megan, I'll be asking you to do the hand raise so that we get that. And were there any corrections to the January minutes? No? Okay. Is there a motion to approve that?
So
Move. Second? Very good. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. The first application regarding driveway gates is awaiting a revised survey, and that will be adjourned. Is there a motion to adjourn that? Okay, and I'll second. All those in favor? Aye. And the application for 135 Crestview Lane has requested an adjournment. I'll make a motion. Is there a second to that?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. So we are up to a revisitation for the application regarding 230 Town Line Road. And I just wanted to check with you if you had any further information to present to the board at this time.
We submitted some documents.
Yes.
That I think are hopefully more clear than the past ones, that the board can see the differences a little bit better than we could previously. And
Excuse me, Tom, I'm gonna put Nick in the waiting room.
Yes, very good. Yes, those people that are online with this are the three of us here. The village architect is recusing himself for this particular application, and Megan is sitting in for Robert Berendis today. Are there any other questions or comments from the board on this?
On 230 Town Line Road.
Yes.
You asked for lighting analysis, which was,
We get lighting amounts.
pardon me,
Did we get lighting?
it should be in the package. That you had. In the back, in the package.
Mr. Woods in the waiting room?
Say that again?
Is Mr. Woods in the waiting room?
Mr. Woods?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Martin is.
No.
Anthony Wood.
Hello, I just arrived.
Hello. There you are. Thank you. We're just looking over the light emission diagrams for the structure as built. Any observations on that? Is this available for that on the screen? Thank you. Any comments on this south exposure, which is to the public?
Claim 17.9.
What percentage is that?
According to the plans, it is 17.9%.
Mhm.
Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. This is as filled. Next page after A4 is the as approved lighting. Is that correct? Or is that, great, that's interpretation. The entryway windows were not done the way that we had approved, so I'm confused as to why that's in here. Are you able to clarify that?
The ones that had been initially approved, yes, the windows were changed in there. You know, I don't think there's more glass. It's only.
So is the depiction and the lighting analysis on A1 correct? To as built, or this was what you,
No, this is as built. A1 is as built.
okay.
And then there's another sheet that had been submitted.
The number of that page is what?
It says AHRB on it.
I
And
mean,
it's
in
a
the right
lighting.
corner, right bottom corner?
That's all that it says on it. There's no number on
Yeah.
it.
That one is the depiction of what we had approved for your entryway,
That's correct.
but it was not built that way, correct?
It's not that way.
Okay. Is there any other clarification you wanted? Looking up at that?
I don't think that there's more glass the way it was built than what had been shown.
Okay. Was there anything else that you want to present?
I guess all the as-built versus the approved, so that we're all on the same page. And, you know,
Right, yeah.
I did want to apologize for what was done and with my lack of knowledge for thinking that what was going on was okay. And I recognize.
Mr. Blue should kind of know better than to build something that wasn't approved. Okay. Henry, Tony, Megan, do you have any other thoughts? Emily?
Well, in the as-built, I have a problem with all that bright white railing. And also with the two decks that have been added above ground, which weren't even included.
Pictures, PDF pictures, just for the benefit of those here.
Two above ground decks.
The decks were in the original plan. The decks were,
Yes, but they weren't quite good.
they
They did not appear this way. The access to them.
That's
the upper deck, the stairway was on the other side of the house, and it was moved to the south side.
If the roof deck was there, but that large or amounts to a third floor platform was not in the original plan.
The roof deck was there and the lower decks were on the original plan. All those lower decks that were built were on the original plan, including the one by the lower. There are three different elevations other than the roof deck. And all three of those elevations had been on the original plan.
Well, I'm
That can
looking,
best be seen on A4. I think it's the as-built versus the approved. The drawing on the
Yes, but these were screened so that they were a little bit softer to the eye.
I don't know, you know, there was dirt in front of them, if that's what.
No,
means.
there was a wooden framework that softened the appearance of the wooden staircase that was proposed on page A3 with the vertical screening,
A2, look at A2 part.
as well as A2. Anyway, we have the information, and I just wanted to clarify and allow the board to make some expressions of their feelings, and I think we're ready to close this. The board will render a decision. Is there a motion to adjourn this at this time? Very good. Second?
second,
All those in favor, and hands from the screen? Aye. Tony Woods, you're voting on this, correct?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, just so that I understand the process, and I apologize for not fully comprehending everything. But what occurs now?
The board will review this additional information and render a written decision. Okay. Thank you. At this point in time, we're going to revisit 416 Hedges Lane. Tony Woods, thank you very much for your participation. Nick, you're going to come back.
Dave Donahue's Bar and Grill. That's where I am right now. But thanks very much for your flexibility, and sorry I misinterpreted the earlier email.
That's fine. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much. Thanks for your flexibility, guys.
I do, yes. So what we're looking at now is the light analysis for 416 Hedges, and this is 3 blocks back off of the street behind the historic Deacon Hedges home. So the actual light emission is pretty far away from the street. There are neighbors. And could we look at those surrounding photographs again?
Here's some aerial photographs of this.
There's one image on A008. Yeah.
think.
Yeah, I think one on the lower left hand corner. Was there someone presenting this to us today?
Yes, correct. Matt LeBrake here and Amanda Cello from BMA. And then we also have Dan Thorpe.
Very good. Thank you. Did you want to just go over what you've got here? You do have
Yeah.
glazing on certain surfaces here.
Correct. So we supplied the revised glazing calcs for review. Don't mind, I can share screen on those. And can you see screen?
Yes.
Okay. So most of the glazing consists inward on the site. So this is actually the interior courtyard, which I'll reference just in the landscape plan here in 1 second. So this interior courtyard that consists of the main public space, swimming pool, all of the entertaining spaces, the master wing, up here again, and the guest pavilion over here. So in our actual glazing, this is taken from that pool location. This is that master wing on the right, and then the kids wing off to the left. This is taken from the eastern neighbor.
We
So
go
looking at that.
Could we go back to the other one and just explain the light that seems to be like underground?
Yes, so this is actually beyond, and apologies for the confusion on there. It's actually under this volume here. There is just one guest suite.
That in the
On that
basement?
lower, exactly, on the lower level right here. That opens up onto this courtyard for egress from both of these bedrooms. This courtyard is then accessed through this stair, which brings you up to grade. So it's a little deceiving, but it's because it's beyond.
Right. Just for the future, the
Mhm.
writing on the left side is so small, it's almost unrealistic. So the next application, be sure to make that quite a bit larger. For
Sure
those
thing.
of us over 60.
Understood.
Very good. So that's 69% on the north side. Is that correct?
Correct.
In the courtyard.
Correct. And that does include the glazing down into the courtyard there.
Okay, can we go to the east side then?
East side is at 64%. This is that entry, the clerestory. This is the first guest suite, and then this is actually the hallway into the guest suites or guest rooms. So this is that entry, that first guest suite, and then the hallway and connectors here.
So that is also facing into the courtyard.
This elevation is taken from this eastern property line.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're seeing right along there.
Could we also take a look at the elevations, just for clarity of understanding where these light emissions are facing the community?
Yes, so this is that front courtyard, and once again, the entry, more of the true elevation here of what you're seeing. Something that may help is actually our kind of view diagram. So this would be from this neighbor's kind of flag lot driveway. Tried the best we could to capture that from view one. It was a little difficult with the snow at the time, but these two shots do show kind of those views, although we are providing vegetation and heavy screening here to prevent kind of or provide privacy.
Okay.
And that would be seen both with the existing arborvitaes that the neighbor has in place, as well as I believe LaGuardia is providing privet along the entire eastern property line here as well.
And the east exposure is to the,
That would be down on the page right now.
okay. Thank you. Right. And could we review this, the west also, which seems to be fairly high at 64%?
The east is at 64, and the west is also, it's at 66, including the kids wing. This is representative of the master wing, as well as that courtyard below.
And anybody can see all this light going up in the sky. Does this create a glow, all of this light, even though it's low down?
The overall, the intent was to try and prevent any light from escaping both upward as well as outward from the site. So by concentrating most of our glazing for the public space under this fairly deep overhang right here, that helps prevent at least the light from directly shooting up and providing that coverage, as well as locating the program along the neighbors and the side property lines, just to try and keep it within the site.
Thank you.
We do have also some renderings of just kind of the approach during the day. That shows that kids wing that we were talking about, as well as the entry. This is from the rear and the pool, where you get that larger concentration of glass under the overhang, as well as the nighttime shots as well.
What is the distance on the north exposure to where the neighbor is north of the lot? There's an existing structure there. What is the distance
From this structure?
from your house to the neighbor to the north? The distance?
Yeah, let me see if I could grab that real quick.
Did we have a Google Earth image of it?
Now it's hovering around 194 feet, a little more than that to the property line from our northernmost point.
Right. Yeah, I would say their setback is probably only about 40 feet or so.
About what?
40 feet
To what?
to the next house to the north.
You want me to put up? an
Yeah,
area?
if you can, that would be helpful. Thank you.
This one right here, right?
Oh,
Yeah, one here.
Yeah.
This guy's close too.
yeah. Yeah. And can we zoom in on that? Please. And understandably, there's another house between the back of that lot stretch and so forth. Can you explain fairly closely where your structure would be located on that, please?
As far as this structure right here,
Your house will be placed about where, can they mark on this image on the screen? Or can you carry your cursor across it and maybe they can?
No, because I'm sharing.
Okay, so if you draw, Abby, if you draw your arrow across the lot, perhaps we can get an idea of where the house is going to be located on the lot. I think it's a little higher towards the red marker. Is that about correct, Matthew?
yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not seeing the marker or the line if you're drawing one.
It's just a cursor.
It's just the white cursor. It's approximately to the south of the neighbor to the west. South edge of that house.
So as far as this setback,
I'm just asking for the relative position
Mhm.
so that we have a sense of what we're doing.
so this is roughly 45 feet off of that property line.
Okay,
And then off of this property line, you're roughly 57 feet. And
on your page A008 in the lower left-hand corner with your pink diagram there, it's just very difficult to notice where the houses are to the right of your driveway and how close this light emission would be as an exposure to the neighbors. I realize that you're thinking about planting and so forth like that, but it's something that we have to take into consideration.
Understood. Yeah, so off the north, we're roughly 194. The west is 45 to our property line. The south is 81. And the east is 57.
And can you go back to our satellite? Just to keep it in perspective. And then I'd like to hear from the board as far as the percentages and whether they're okay with that. These are relatively very high compared to what we usually approve.
But it's all on one floor.
That's still only relative to this particular application.
Right?
Okay,
I
so,
think it's a beautiful house.
thank you.
It's all
Are you
one-
worried about the glass? That's
No,
my
I'm
question.
not. No, I am not.
Okay.
Or you know what?
The glazing, the amount of glazing that you're
Well,
dealing with
since
here.
it's on the first floor, if it were on the second floor, I'd be a lot more worried, but if there is none on the second floor,
And a lot of it is inside patio.
the courtyard, yes.
Yeah. Megan, thoughts?
I guess I'm just having a little trouble since there's only 3 CADs. I'm sorry, 2 CADs to really understand what's happening here from the drawings. I'm still digesting it, frankly. I agree with Emily that I'm thankful there isn't a second floor that is a glass box of light and it's super buried and landscaping takes care of a lot of the blocking anyways. I just can't really, I see a front and a back and I really am having a difficult time digesting what the drawings will actually look like in person with only 2 CADs. That's just, I've been scrolling through all the drawings, but.
All right, thank you. Nick, any comments?
I think it's a nice application. I know that the numbers are quite a bit higher than typical, and I see that it's a well vegetated site, and it looks like a nice job by LaGuardia Group on that front. I just wonder if there's sort of a side conversation that the client may have had with the architect about willing to potentially render some of that glass on either side, to be a bit more minimal. Would they be open to reducing, say, 15%? Some of the glass where it's more exposed, say on that wing?
Particularly the kids wing.
Yeah, those are the two neighbors that I think would be most affected, and that north elevation there has quite a bit. I think obviously the taller glass. So I'm just wondering if there's been any open conversation about, we'd like to have this much, but board knows it's a bit high, blah blah blah.
Yeah, it was actually a conversation we started breaching with the clients, and they are open to introducing more solid walls in these areas, specifically for that hallway where it's not as necessary for kind of the views out, as well as provide some additional privacy for the master bath as well.
Yeah, so that would be my comment. It's a nice application. I just would love to see maybe a little more restraint on that elevation.
Just to clarify, you're speaking about the east?
Could you zoom out a bit? I thought it's the north, isn't it? Or is that?
I think it was the east. This is the east.
Yeah, the east faces those two neighbors. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so I think it's the east that I don't know if you thought about rain screen or if some of those walls could become windows. I don't know.
Yeah, the thinking was actually to reduce these down to roughly much smaller in scale, probably closer to 4'6", maybe 6 foot max on the width here, and introducing substantial solid walls in the in between here, just for that kind of specific east elevation.
Mhm.
Or could you do something with lath or, some kind of filter that would cut down on the glare, but leave the walls the same? Put it up.
Yeah,
So,
almost in a
of them, yeah, like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would be something that clients would be open to.
Okay. Any other remarks? Okay, is it possible for you to have that back to us within a couple of weeks?
Sure thing.
Okay, very good. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn, and we'll consider this at the March meeting.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Good, thank you, Matt. Is there a second to the adjournment?
Second.
All those in favor, aye with a hand for those on the screen. Thank you.
Did you make the motion?
I did.
Thank you. Could you hold it just a second? Keep it slide, please. Thank you.
Sent you a couple pictures of that, just for the benefit of the, it's kind of helpful to know what hedge actually looks like in the winter, which I don't really do very much for light emission. But these were taken this morning, and there's basically no leaves on that hedge, which is very helpful to see how much we will see. So this is a demo. You did a the search, and there was no hold on
I did do a search with our whole.
title
On the
search.
demo?
Title search on the demo.
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah. We have a lien search and do you need it, Tom?
I just want to confirm that it was done properly and it's
It was,
proper.
just as reviewed it, where to go, and we're good to go.
Yeah,
Pardon me?
we reviewed that, right? Yes.
Thank you. This particular, was there any significant points on the architect or anything?
I don't know. Brian?
Sorry, I didn't know if you were ready for me. Good afternoon, Brian DeSessa, 2317 Montauk Highway, on behalf of the owners, Warren Snyder and Samantha Greenberg. We're here for two purposes. One, for the demo of the existing two-story house, detached garage / cabana, pool and spa. And then for the construction of a new two-story single-family house, pool and spa on a lot located at 15 Jacobs Way. It's a corner lot fronting Hedges and Jacobs Way. And to the northeast is a reserve area where there's 2 tennis courts, which are entitled to the Jacobs Way Association.
How old is the house, the existing? And who built it and who was the architect?
I don't know that.
30 years old. I built the house.
So you did?
Thank you.
Somewhere in the 80s, right? Early 90s. I have the architect on the new house, Will Lanier here. If there are any questions of the house, proposing a traditional style house.
We have to vote on the demo.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
2006, it was built, or they got the CO by then.
I'm sorry?
Ernie Scheifestein was the architect on that project, and Barry Barnett, Barry Brown was the builder.
Okay. So there was, are there any other questions as to the particulars on the design or the architect for the demo before we move into the other house?
Are all the buildings adjacent to the main house being torn down as well, or is it just the main house?
Everything on the line.
Is the pool staying?
That pool is being demoed and removed, and a new pool is being proposed to be put in.
Thank you.
So the lot is just clear, dark driveway, everything, and start again.
The driveway cut closest to the corner of Jacobs and Hedges is where we're going to take access from. The other driveway entrance would be closed. The perimeter screening is proposed to remain, which is the hedges and the tall trees around the perimeter. And in the middle of the lot, everything will be redone.
Thank you.
And that is one of the tennis courts that belongs to Jacob's Way there.
Yeah, the second one is just outside, but it's directly adjacent to it.
Okay.
Is there any other questions or concerns about the demo?
No.
Okay, is there a motion to approve this demo?
I'll make it.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. James, did you have any comments? Not yet?
Well, you made the motion, already.
You're muted, Nick, you're muted.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, it's nice to see Mr. DeSessa.
You too, Mr. Martin.
Start with that. But no, it seems like unfortunately, an easy demo decision.
Okay, very good. I'll let that stand. We'll sign the paperwork here and begin looking at the new structure. I did a little bit of homework with the clerk here. We have quite a few structures which look very, very similar to the new building. And,
This must be the stairs.
so I just want to make sure that we're aware of that subject of similarity with the village. We have 17 applications on file with Farrell, and I think Will's work was 2 or 3 of them at least. Thank you. And we have one more packet for the house.
I don't.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so I think we're ready to walk forward on this.
So the applicants are proposing a 2-story, single-family house with an attached garage, covered patio to the northeast, pool and a spa. No accessory structures are proposed, like when you saw with the demo. In the zoning, we're keeping the existing perimeter screening. We're keeping the existing perimeter screening that was reflected in the landscape plan that was provided. The materials on the exterior of the house are cedar siding, a 5.5-inch reveal, allowed to weather naturally. The roof is cedar perfection. The windows are aluminum clad in white, with white trim around the windows. The stucco around the foundation is going to be a light gray. The stone on the chimney for both the main house and the outdoor fireplace is a gray stacked stone. We did provide in the application the light emissions showing the front and rear elevations, front being at 22% and the rear being at 23%.
Just to check, there are no grates or mullions in the windows at all, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. That's something that we should probably check, as this is going to make large panels of light in the neighborhood.
I thought it was part of your package. You had it here, it was not from the.
I have
Oh,
it,
yeah.
yeah, I'm just making sure that the appearance of,
Sure.
or the lack of the appearance in the renderings was accurate. We've had a few people not realize what they put in the packet.
The neighbor here would be to the north, the northwest direction. On the 3 other sides, there's no house.
Right, but there's 2 streets.
Correct. There's two streets in reserve. Absolutely.
Two public views.
Yep.
We have to take into consideration, so thank you.
You did have photos of the winter views when those hedges are not.
Mhm.
Those are proposed to remain. So if you could hide the screen.
I would ask about this wall of windows on the front, which I believe is next to the staircase. 2-story, enormous.
This one here?
Yes, that
That
one.
is the staircase. That is the staircase.
Does it have to be that big? I mean, it's a 2-story wall of light.
I will architect. Does it have to be that way? I mean, that was what the owner's direction was. I mean, could I go back to them and say, could we remove some of the glass up, down?
While we're talking about lighting, that is a 2-story
Yes.
wall of light.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Stairwells.
That we will probably address.
Okay.
You've seen a lot of that, the stairways that.
Yes.
The 2-story windows.
I mean, in the night rendering, which isn't really night, it's dusk at best. It looks like there are curtains or something on many of these windows. But in real life, I don't know if that's going to be true. I mean, it shows it here. This is night, this is dusk. And this shows some kind of draperies, or I'm not sure what it's supposed to be, but cutting down on the light, but that doesn't mean that that will happen in real life.
Is there, satellite pictures? Okay. We'll take a look at this. I'm just looking at the summer view, and the concern is that it's not clear that any of these trees are gonna contribute the amount of shielding.
Yeah, the rendering, especially the aerial, is a photomontage. It's hard to show the house and keep the existing renderings. So that's for reference to the tennis court, to the neighbors surroundings. That does not reflect any landscaping either.
Right.
Proposed or existing. It's real hard to do on an aerial. You essentially have to erase them to show the house, and you can't come back over the house.
Right. It's just a little misleading to us to look at that and say, oh, well, the trees are covering up most of the light emission. But there aren't that many trees on the property right now, and you're talking about clearing everything, so.
Well, of the perimeter screening is going to remain, but yes.
Okay, did you mention that?
I did.
before? Okay,
Yes.
thank you. I'll try to get a Google shot of this. Was there any thoughts on the amount of glazing at present in the application?
And we thought that the 22 and 23% were
Right, I'm gonna ask the board now, that was the direction of that.
I think that's a lot of light. I would like to see a real, honest to God, night rendering, not this little dusk thing. Because that's a lot of light.
Well, this space is the tennis courts, correct?
The rear of the house.
This-
That's
this
correct,
space.
yeah.
But it still contributes to my glow.
Yeah, no, I just want to make sure I'm looking in the right direction.
So other than that, it's just another, you know,
I was hoping, this is Megan speaking, I was hoping for maybe a little bit of less windows on the second floor. And I also feel a little bit of a discrepancy between the style of the house, which seems traditional, and the plain glass windows that seem very modern. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I would love to see maybe 2 windows on the second floor of those 3 chunks in the front. And then I don't mind the amount of windows on the bottom, I guess. That's my thought.
Okay, thank you. As far as I say, I'll try and get some shots that illuminate a little bit more angles on the Google Drive for next month. But any other comments on the glass?
No, I tried to paint mine.
Okay, and I will share with the board some of the other designs for similarity. And Nick, any comments?
I'm just wondering, is this project for a client or is it a spec house?
It's a custom home for a client design, the client's designed it with Mr. Veneer.
And they currently live on
They live
property
on
now.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. What was that?
The clients that this is for currently live on this property. It's a custom home that they designed with Mr. Veneer.
Okay, and then I'm just wondering if there's an idea of maybe not doing, I'll just draw here for a second. 1 second. Well, for some reason, I don't have access to that, but I'm wondering if it's possible to change the entry drive to not take the whole front yard and take, say, one side or the other. Do you know if there was a concept of that?
We can look into that.
What was the question? I don't understand.
Move the driveway.
So
No, it doesn't.
currently the driveway is spanning the whole distance or half the distance and crossing through the house. We're just wondering if this is just has to do with natural space versus paved space. But would it be possible to have the driveway, say, right now there's 1, 2, 3 large scale trees. Would it be possible to say enter from the 2 to the left of the house? Yeah, there. So that there'd be less paving and more natural space.
We can absolutely look into that.
that's a good idea.
This is Megan again. I'm just wondering if there is any way, maybe when you come back to show us the lighting or the gutters, it seems very elementary right now in terms of what is actually going on in the details of the home.
Lighting, what?
The light fixtures and the gutters and it's very, very basic right now. I'm just trying to understand, how it might, the architecture might be enhanced by the details. I just would appreciate some close-ups.
There's no rendering of the exterior lighting or anything.
Right. Just an observation on the pool side. What is the stone portion that comes up to the second story? Is that like
An outdoor fireplace from the first floor.
Yeah.
It's sort of intentionally placed on that end to sort of shield the street a little bit, a little bit of privacy behind that side.
Okay, but can it come out and exhaust right onto a railing like that?
Yeah, it's not wood burning, it's an insert. So it could actually come right out the back.
Direct vent gas.
No, it's not for cooking, it's for.
Yeah, it's for mood or for.
It's one of those. Can we just zoom in on that, please, for a second? A little bit, and then down. Thank you.
Right, so the fireplace is under the patio there, and furniture's around it.
Yeah.
And it essentially acts as a little bit of a screen from noise and cars that pass by on the road. The fireplace would vent out the back, it's not a, wood burning chimney.
I see.
That would require massing to go away from the house.
Very good. Any other particular points from the board? Do you have any questions to clarify what we've asked to address?
No, I think the board's been clear.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I'll make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? Second from Ingrid. All those in favor, aye, hand signals from those on Zoom. Please.
And that next meeting?
It's the fourth Monday in March.
Okay, very good.
What date is that?
Next meeting.
Okay, I'll get you a date before you get to the door.
March 28th.
March 28th. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Meeting room came out great, I haven't been here since.
What's that?
Nice space, it came out really nice.
It
I haven't been here
has its
since, it's
points.
been a while.
Yes, yeah, it's got its good points and its bad. All right, thank you. Good to see you. Next up is 342. Is this Town Line Road? Is there someone here for that? Or present? Thank you. Very good. I tried to find a marker or anything on the street to indicate where this property is located, and I didn't find a number anywhere.
There's not a number there, you're right. First of all, good morning, good afternoon, everyone on board. Hi, Pat. Nick.
It's in the woods, right?
If you're at Wayne's Main Street
Yes.
and you go south, I would say it's 50 to 100 feet on the west side.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a driveway there.
Yeah.
And this is just a flag next to the other driveway.
Okay. It is required to have a marker on the property so we know where we're looking for. So you can establish a number with the board to become familiar with.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, that's in your application.
It's unique in the way that the flag is 450 feet long. So this line is pretty far back.
Okay, it's off the road.
Yes.
Which is on. Okay. Is there any designation for that? Yeah, that was my problem too.
They're supposed to be marked. I keep asking John, just a little sign.
Well, it's not up to John. It's written in the application information.
Well, whoever.
Well, it's in the woods, back in that
Yeah, it's
wood
back in
area.
the deep back. All right, so, let's see, 2 stories. Okay. Why don't you walk us through a little bit and then we'll discuss glazing, our favorite topic these days.
I've been here, I know. By the way, we took that into account, and only glazing right now is only 72% transmission. Where clear glass is more like 80 something percent.
So you're saying the glass is treated to reduce emissions?
Yes, it already is. I don't know, because I was aware of that before.
Okay.
So, it's a vacant lot. There is a new house that you approved, I guess, about 3 years ago to the south of it. That house is about 120 feet from the property line. Our house is about 180 feet, so it's about 300 feet between the two houses. We tried to create a compact condensed style here, influenced by Rudel Jacobson, an American architect, who uses shapes with connectors to make things a little interesting and not as massive. So it's scaled down. It's a American modern farmhouse is what we're trying to create here. Everything's pretty condensed in one area except for the tennis court, which is in the backyard. There's a formal motor court there in the front. A garage attached to the house with a very small connector. And we are also surrounded by 14-foot hedges around the property. They're really tall hedges. I actually just trimmed them on one side, they're even taller. And all the neighbors or nice and spaced over there. There's some photos in the package there you can look at.
Are these numbered pages or is just?
I don't know, that's the flag right there. That is looking from the property back to the street. And those are the tall hedges that are on the south side of our driveway and along the perimeter of our property. That's the lot.
Okay, we'll work on getting a satellite photograph and then we'll allow you to place it.
You have one in there.
You do, okay. But we don't know what page.
It's a very large one.
Okay.
We tried to be thorough.
Yes, please.
Thank you. The photos are toward the rear.
In the back, the very last page.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then later the current direction. And all the photos are taken from approximately the house itself, the center of the home, the proposed home. The photos were taken from the proposed home, so you could get a real distance and
Is that a house on the front line road, those white buildings? In your area? What is there on town line road? Is that another house?
yes,
Okay. Oh, tiny house.
yes. Rather cute.
It's a pretty road.
And then there's another house behind that one as well, adjacent to that lot.
You see that? So this, and this one here.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, very good. Let's take a look at the structure and features.
The renderings are pretty accurate, except for I wasn't happy with the concrete color, but they're pretty accurate. You know, that's what I need to photos.
Yes, we have it's a quite a large sample board in front of us.
Okay. Yeah. That's an old satellite. I think it's that's the one with the swimming pool, elevated swimming pool. Okay, so let's walk through this and then we'll get going here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Materials or you want to take it?
No, let's cover it all. That's fine. The roof is shingled.
Roof is going to be a red cedar shingle roof. The siding will be an elastic yellow, which will age naturally to silver gray. Very minimal fascia detail there. Gutters will be mounted under these shingle lines on the eaves. These window casings are rather small, about 1.5 inches, and they'll probably protrude about 1.5 inches as well beyond the shingles for a nice, clean detail. They'll be painted the same color as the windows here. It's kind of a, it's not black, it's kind of like a bronzy grayish.
Yeah, could you bring that over to the
Sure.
table?
We hand painted this, we match the color, but that's what it looks like.
There's no garage in this plan.
There is, it's in the right front there. It's attached to a 5-foot deck. So if you look at that rendering, those two windows From the right side are the garage, and the garage doors are on the back side, all the way to the right.
So,
Yeah. and then
So-
photograph.
yeah, this big courtyard doesn't have access to the garage then,
That's correct,
so people will be parking there.
that's correct. Yeah, the scale is broken up with the connectors, and we're trying to use very homogeneous or monochromatic type color.
Oh, the glass connection.
Yes, yes,
What did
sir.
you say that?
I said the glass connection. I have fancy ideas about minimizing glass. Anyway, all right. Any comments from those of you online?
I think I love the design. I think it's very clean and I think my only comment would be the front yard parking lot. But I don't love cars in the front of the house blocking such a beautiful design.
Gravel area.
I would agree with Megan. It's a nice house. You can have all these cars parked in front of it.
Well, I don't think that gets used very often. I think it's pretty, you have gas, you just have, there's a 450-foot flag to the street, right? So if you do have gas, you have a dinner party, you do have some parking. It's clearly set up to use the garage in the back, because that's where the mudroom is in the backside. So I don't think there would be cars here often, but you do need a place for cars, and the formal courtyard is always something that I like.
What is the material of the chimneys?
It's concrete. And the patios in the back are as well. And those connectors that are lower, smaller scale are also concrete. So the concrete, the silvery gray shingles and the dark blackish windows, you know, are palette. I think all the windows and doors are reasonable. In the front, you know, we created a rhythm of these small windows for just, you know, architecture and a beautiful rhythm. We do have those larger connector windows that you mentioned there. I think those are important to break up the massing. If we didn't do that, we'd have a much more massive looking
I've
house.
never seen a farmhouse that looked like this. So.
Do you know Jacobson? He did Jack Asses' work, he's done stuff in France.
I'm talking about normal houses.
Oh, that's reasonable.
Okay.
In the back, I
I've been
think,
here for 60 years. I've never seen a normal farmhouse that looked like this.
well, it's a modern farmhouse, so it's definitely a push, that's for sure. In the back, I think we splurged a bit on the big great room door. I think that's the one element that's, you know, oversized, so to speak.
This is a large, what is the height of that?
The height of the door, about 14
The
feet.
four panels? That's a door?
Yeah, so 14 feet by 18 or 20.
What is the square footage of the house overall?
By the way, the architect is online. Craig, are you there?
Yes, hi, everyone. I can let you know that in one moment.
It's about 63 or 6,400.
So the total square footage, let's see, we've got first floor, so the maximum floor area, so the proposed, we're at 6,309 for primary and 973 for accessory.
And you mentioned that was a maximum or?
I'm sorry, no, the proposed, the maximum allowed is 6,336 plus 950, and we are at 6,309 plus 973, which puts our total for principal and accessory at 7,282.
Say that again, please.
Our total proposed FAR is 7,282 square feet.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And just the dimensions on the windows. Let's say facing the front courtyard.
Those are about, you want to take that? You like me to?
Let's say I can get you approximate, each of those windows, the main ones, are approximately 3 feet by 6.5 feet, about 6'9", about 36 by 6'9".
It's just helpful to have a sense of scale to what we're looking at. Very oftentimes, these renderings are misleading because of the distance from the structure and so forth.
But I would
Makes
say
sense.
it's not night and the windows look like the curtains.
Right. Again, Emily's point is good. There's some clear windows on the first floor. I'm looking at one of the night renderings from the courtyard. And there's some clear stuff over on the corner, but it really looks like everything else has a curtain over it. And that's going to be kind of rare.
What's happening, I think it's not a curtain, but what's happening there is the lighting's in the center of the room, so you're not getting a full glow on those end windows. This, I went over this with render myself, it's like the same thing. See, this is the actual render. This is the lighting.
John, in the case of these exterior lights by the front door, there are 3 separate bulbs in the fixture. What does the code speak about for the light
The
emission?
code says no matter how many bulbs are in the fixture, the total amount of light that's allowed to be emitted is equivalent to 4 watt incandescent or room equivalent thereof. So each bulb would have to be no more than 10 to 12 watts.
We can make sure that's the case. They also have tops on them, so no lights emitting upward.
Right, but it's all emitting outward.
Understood, out and down, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, also the second floor, I was here a couple of years ago for a project, and I went through the light with the board. And upstairs, if you look at the rear renderings, we didn't put sconces on the house, but we put these little step lights about 12 inches up the balcony floor. So when you step out the door, they're 12 inches, and they're shining just downward, just for safety light. So we have that at the balconies in the rear too.
But there are large fixtures on either side of the 14-foot high glass window, correct?
There are, but they won't exceed the 40 watts, and there's nobody for 300 feet behind us. They'll be blocked by the pool house little area and the covered porch to the neighbors to east and west.
Right, but presently the photograph from the courtyard shows open glass towards the light fixtures, and the same fixtures are facing the pool rather than covered, even though they look covered in the daylight renderings. I think you might have put the same fixtures there.
They are the same fixtures.
Right, so they are going to emit towards the pool.
Yeah, understood, but the next neighbor, I was just saying, is 300 feet away, that's all.
Right, okay.
I totally agree.
Okay.
In all of this voluminous thing we're looking at, which page could I find the drawing of the house on the lot? Just.
Sure. I'll do the site plan. I didn't assemble these.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
That's what you asked for, we gave you what you asked for. If you look at, it's about 10 pages from the back, maybe 8 pages from the back. It's a David Saska survey.
Yeah.
Here's the David Saska survey.
That's the page I had, the one that you just had. Okay, good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm trying to figure out your rear.
In front of that is the landscape plan also, if you want to take a peek at that.
Let's see. Where's the drive? That's the whole thing. Okay, that's what it says. Okay.
You go one page back,
Uh-huh.
there's a landscape plan. That's the parking area as well as comments about what is going to be on the sides of the driveway. And the house is just a white block.
Where, can you find the light emission percentages for me somewhere?
Sure.
I mean, I did find them once before, but now I can't.
Okay, I'll look for it.
While we're here, could we spend some time on the landscape and zoom in so that we can actually read what's on the page, please? Same thing as what you're looking at, but I just want to go over it. Can you zoom in?
More?
Yeah. I like to be able to go through that.
Little Oxford.
So it's 630 feet back off the road.
It's 450 to the beginning of lot, 630 to the rear.
Okay. And you're adding privet to the north side of the driveway?
That's correct. The entire property will have credit when it's finished.
Mhm.
And right now, the main part of the property, the rectangle,
How far is it actually from hedges?
it is from town line. From hedges, it is 1, 2, I think it's the third lot from hedges. There's 2 2-acre lots on that corner there. And then this would be the next lot. Hey Craig, can you help us find the light emissions while they're looking at landscape?
I can. So it's, I don't know what the package that you have, it starts in the 200 series. So it's on page, which I guess 201 is page 42. So the light emissions start with page 8 to 11, which is page 47 of 76 of the main plans.
Excuse me, Craig, would you like to share?
You know, I'd have to switch over because I have things split screen, so I could switch. I can actually, I can go from the other computer and just join.
Craig's away on vacation right now, joining us from Colorado.
Lucky quick.
Thank you. Beautiful out here. A little cold, but beautiful. All right, let's see.
8 to 11, yeah.
Yeah, I found it. I knew it was here somewhere. So 33%, 19%, 29%, and 23%.
Yeah, keep in mind, there's only a 72% transmission all the way on the side. So we've already tried to mitigate that.
Yeah.
The right elevation here has a large square window on the side, which would be facing the street. Is that correct? Or is that the left?
That's right. The right elevation is going to be facing the neighbor to the west. And that's a massive bathroom top right there. That was.
Is it a you put the switch and you can't see that? Or-
I'm gonna refrain from answering that.
Okay, because there's one of those down in South Sag that is a little too obvious.
I would think it would have a treatment on that window. Probably most of the time.
Okay, all right. This will take some time to digest on our own, but let's open with any comments on the glazing. Right.
I think they really care about the glazing.
No, not yet. Megan, did you want to start or?
No, I think it looks great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there a way to park cars other than in the front of the house?
Doesn't seem like
I haven't really thought about that. I think there's, I think it's pretty tight. Because our septic system is in front of the other wing. I don't know that there's another place, to be honest.
Okay, just wondered, it's a sort of shame.
If it helps us to go through it, yeah. This driveway runs along the property line. So there's this little area here, and then this is all septic system here.
Okay.
So it's kind of there, so I figured make it as pretty as possible.
Okay, gotcha.
That was the thought.
All right. Well, while you're there, this is a question that I'm just looking at your plans, and I probably shouldn't even ask, but you have a garage here. It says 2-car with lifts and a drop pit.
I don't know if there'll be a drop pit, probably not. I don't know. I didn't know that was in there, to be honest with
It's a
you.
drop pit.
I don't know.
You can
There
have-
isn't a drop pit. There is a, we were proposing a potential lift for additional car storage, but there's no drop pit. We actually have some space finished below the garage.
I just was curious.
You got
You
it.
could have 4 cars. Huh?
Potentially, get little cars.
Yes. Be careful when you drop them. Oh, that's a first.
It surprised me too.
Oh dear, now I moved my pencil, I'm sorry, I'll find it again.
Nick, any initial comments on the glazing or anything?
112.
Like it looks like a lot of glazing, particularly in terms of light disturbance on the second floor there on the left wing. And of course, the first floor, but yeah, I think I'd like to see some more detail and how it's being put together and, you know, further detailing the elevations to make a comment on it.
Okay.
Nick, if I may, that is the detail. It's like a no detail type of construction. It's gonna be a 1.5 inch by 1 inch fascia board around the whole thing. And then the window casings are about 1.5 inches wide, and they protrude past the shingles about 1 inch, 1.5 inches. Very narrow, kind of delicate, and that's all there is for detail in the house.
So are they no gutters or Yankee gutters?
That's a good point. I didn't put them in the rendering so you can see the house, but there'll be a gutter hanging on the eaves, just a clean gutter mounted onto the shingles, not mounted to the face of the house.
The colors will be what color?
The gutters?
They're gonna be copper
No, they'll probably be in this concrete grayish color, the homogeneous, you know, the chromatic look we're going for there.
Okay, I would agree with Nick that there's a bit of unnecessary glazing, if you will. The portion with the deck out over the dining area, outside dining area, and the sofa seating area there. That just seems to be a light beacon. The one that has the open side of the chimney on it. I guess it would be the
master bedroom wing there, on the west side.
yes. Right. The 14-foot glass, that's height, right? We talked about that?
Yes.
That would just open a tremendous amount of criticism from other people that we've limited the heights of glazing like that.
Okay.
Just an absolute.
I've been approved for a door similar to that, a little bit larger. At 6'10" Sagme a couple of years ago. This door is modeled after that. It's 15 feet, 14.9 by 22 or something.
We might not have noticed that.
But
it's just there. It's just panels and panels of like illumination.
I understand. It's an integral part of the design of the house. It's when you walk into the building, it's a great room. It's an integral part of it. I would be fine to maybe tint that further, that window in the master wing, if that made things work for you.
I would encourage some alternative dimension.
Maybe on this window here, this is
That's
what
it.
the great room, is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
I'm talking about the big one over the pool. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you could take out the transoms, maybe,
They're not transoms.
what is that?
You're looking at lines through the house, inside the house, or some reflection.
Well, what is, I don't understand, it looks like part of the window, two sections of the window or not?
No, I
The
think it's a
rendering.
reflection of something else. I apologize. I can't answer it.
No, there is a frame across and it looks like more glazing on this rendering. Is the cookout nearby?
There's the elevation.
No.
It's
Yeah.
just a
Can you
reflection.
see this? This looks like there's a frame
And you
across.
see what I'm looking?
Yeah, but it's not. I think it's just a reflection. What's over there?
It can't be reflecting anything from that particular angle. So
I know, I agree. I can't answer.
In the rendering, it looks exactly like a transom.
Yeah.
Agreed. That's really a focal point for this room. The room's kind of designed around that door. I'm willing to do whatever we need to tint it or do something like that. The board can, find a way to make that acceptable.
Like I say, think shorter people.
Yeah, I really like the house, but there is an awful lot of glazing.
The application a couple before had a 60% ratio, and we're at 20.
Yeah, but that wasn't a two-story house.
Right, there's a first floor door we're talking about, right?
Well, I'm talking,
It's a
no,
very large, great room and it looks great, but it's too much light.
there's the big
That's all there is to
window
it.
here on this is the master bedroom. With big doors of light. I mean, I like the house. I wouldn't, if it were mine, I'd like it, but
There's 6
but
foot
it's a
doors.
lot of glass.
There's 6 foot doors on that master deck there, so you need to not oversize it. The one of the great room, I totally understand. There's a way we can,
Yeah, that's on the first floor. That's true, but the master bedrooms are on the second floor. And they're 6 feet tall,
understood,
big ones.
and I'm willing, if we could do something with the glazing, I'd be open to doing that.
Okay,
To make the board happy.
very good. Any other comments from our Zooming folks?
No other comments unless you have any additional questions for us.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was referring to the board members for their
I'm
input.
sorry.
That's all right. I'll try
No
to be
other
more clear.
comments here.
Say again?
No other comments from Megan.
Okay, thank you. Nick? No, okay, very good. Ingrid, any further observations? You like the house? Would you like it in your backyard?
I already have it in my backyard.
Yes, I know. That was another generation of sin. All right. Okay, I think I've conducted.
Thank you.
I think I've communicated well enough with you. These connecting towers too are basically just volumes of light.
I hear you.
Is this the
100%.
78% glass?
No, this is the glass. It's just, this was just for color for architecture.
Okay, because when I did my LED across it, it was basically.
This
no
is the
difference.
basic that
Okay,
they
yeah,
give
if
as
you
a
can
sample.
bring in a sample of the,
Sure.
white mission glass, that would be.
Sure, and again, I'm willing to reduce those windows. I mean, even if we got to a 60% transmission on them, it would be like we were reducing it 30%. So if the board would keep that option open, I would be grateful for that.
Okay, we'll take that into consideration.
Thank you, everyone, so much.
All right,
Thank you.
motion to
Thank you,
adjourn.
everyone.
Second? All those in favor? Aye. All right. Yeah, that one's- yeah, I got that. So, yep, thank you. The next application is for renovations on a structure which had about 9 cars in the driveway this morning. So if you can go over, who do we have for the? Okay, Oliver,
Yes, I'm here.
very good, and is Ken with you somewhere?
Ken's my physical.
Physical presence, your physical presence. All right, and this is for a amendment, 2-story addition with a bedroom on a 2nd floor and an attached garage. So,
I gave you the wrong,
well,
That's
oh, that's the next one,
looking
yeah.
at 543, right?
Yeah, we are looking at 543, but what was handed out was the wrong document, so this is not what we're supposed to be looking at, Ingrid. Wrong address. All right. Sorry, so this is the winter application? Correct? Yep. Okay.
That's right.
This is the wrong house. She's getting you the right stuff, just a moment. Right across the street, basically. So what we're looking at here on this one is.
You want to,
The first one.
this paper, have
543.
what you need, I get that.
Do you have one?
No, I don't, I have that one.
Is there anything over there? Got it?
what happened is I grabbed the problems.
Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be a busy spot there,
Great.
for a little while, longer.
You
Okay,
have it, like-
I did, yes, I'm sorry, thank you. Can we go to the packet pages, or do they want to walk us through it?
Oliver, do you want to share? Do you want me to?
It's up to you. I'm comfortable either way. I can share if that helps move it along.
Sure.
Okay. Hold on here.
So just a little bit of history on this. This was, part of it is pre-existing, correct? Correct.
That's right. Ken, shall I let you do the bulk of the question and answer since you're there? And then if you want to bring me in, I'm here.
Yeah, if you want to just do the first overall, and then if there's any questions, I can answer as exists.
Okay. Why don't I use this? Can everybody see all right? This is a sort of aerial perspective. We have a key plan in the corner or on the side on the right. What we're proposing to do is add to the existing house, which is a 2012 weathered shingle, fairly simple volumes, that's on the right-hand side. You see my cursor okay?
Yes, just barely.
Okay, well, that's the right-hand side. What we're proposing to do is add towards the street with a kind of mudroom link that goes back to the kitchen space, which is the wing on the west end of the house, and then transition into a 2-story volume, which will have a family room below and a guest bedroom up above. And then that has a small link to a garage on the side. Okay. I could jump to some views that show you what it looks like coming in from the street side, and then look at a couple of other things just to give you a sense of the scale.
Okay.
So let me back up here. So here we are. All right. So this is the big volume on the left side is the existing house. And we have a garage building all the way on the right with a kind of shed roof, very little glazing there. And then the family room and guest room volume just behind the garage. And in the winter time, which at least this view gives you a better sense of the discrete nature of the volumes. I think the trees are illusory that are shown on the right-hand side because that's looking over towards the farm field, and we don't have trees like that. All the way in the far left, very small, you can see the pool house, which I came to you with earlier, that replaces a bigger indoor pool that we're knocking down. That again gives you, the winter views are pretty good for showing you the distinct nature of the volumes. This, the color on the fencing is supposed to be weathered to match the trim, which is weathered on the building itself, but not a very good color. This view shows you both the materials on the house and the color of the trim, which we're matching. Just Western red cedar shingles. Shows the existing volume grayed out and our proposed volume. There's an aerial view that gives you a sense of where we are off hedges. And the view from hedges coming in the driveway shows you the existing main volume of the house. Views up and down the road, across the field. Here are the drawings that show the glazing and percentage of glazing in the wall. This is for the north side. Got the existing, which is a little paler, and our proposed. We're going from 1,140 square feet of wall coverage to 1,418. We're going from 12% as a proportion of glass to the wall to 11%. On the west side, similar calculations, we're going from existing 15% up to 19%. But all done with smaller openings. On the east, same idea. Proposed wall is going from 1,004 to 1,846. Existing coverage is 22% glazing, and we're going to 16%. Same thing for the south, and that really doesn't change because it's the existing volume screen, the proposed. That's 22%, so in line with the other ones. I'll just give you, here's the overall site plan. You can see the addition to the front of the house is hatched. The main volume here. We're adding, in terms of footprint, the garage and its connection is about 540 square feet. And the family room and mudroom is about 600 square feet. And the bedroom above on the second floor is about 300 square feet. And we're in compliance with the GFA regulations. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
The large window that's in the, is that the connector?
The large window here on the rear or,
No, the smaller large window.
okay. Yeah. Let me go to the, I think you're talking about this set of doors right here.
Perhaps. I'm looking at the south elevation.
The south elevation doesn't have any new construction.
This is existing.
Yes.
Okay. All right, let me go back and figure out where I'm at. Thought there was one. That was one. Okay, it's not. It's in the connector, I think.
Well, maybe we're talking, we've got one here on the west. We got a pair of glass doors.
Yes, I think that's it.
And then we have a similar set of
double door.
only a single on the other side. Let me go to the plan and zoom in here.
Is
So
that double door in the connector?
you're talking about right here.
Yep.
I think so. What are the dimensions of that?
I imagine it's, just let me see if I can find it. Excuse me while I go to the further into the detailed plans here. Well, it doesn't say, but I'd venture we're probably 6 feet wide and 8 feet high.
Eight feet high? Okay.
Yeah, the volumes inside are pretty high, so. Let me see if I've got elevation. This is what we're talking about right here.
Right. Yeah.
So we're matching the height of the existing windows in the existing kitchen.
Yeah.
And actually, it looks like it's a fixed panel of glass. It's not an operable door, though. It's got a step, so I think it's a door.
Yeah, you guys are supposed to know.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Okay. But you think it's 8 feet?
Yes.
Same height as the other window.
Yeah. Okay.
It's in scale with everything else that we do.
All right. Any other observations from the members of the board?
I think it's a nice application. I'm just wondering if you're in the barn itself now.
I'm in my barn, which is sort of 1800, turned into a house around 1900. And
Okay.
then we renovated about 20 years ago. It's in Quiog in West Hampton. Some people think it's a background, not the real thing.
Yes.
Megan, any concerns?
I don't have any concerns. Thank you.
Okay, Megan?
No,
No? Ingrid?
Fine.
Emily? Okay. Any further discussion on anything? No? All right. Someone have, want to make a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, second? All those in favor, hands up. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank all of you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for a nice presentation.
Right, I has to be right light, so it's already done.
And Ken, thanks for standing in.
No problem. See you later.
Good.
Okay,
Now we go across the street.
now we go across the street. But we need to sign off on this application. Preferably in 10. Alright. Is there anyone present for 544?
Yes.
Ah,
Well, you're keeping. I'll be back.
that's some of that. What's that? Who's doing the page? Is that you?
Definitely.
Okay, very good. Thank
The
you.
architect is on. Does he go?
Is he gonna share?
Chris, are you gonna share?
Yeah, I think we're sharing right now.
That's me. Do you want?
Oh, yeah, Andrew can share. Thanks, because we updated one drawing there.
Is the screen showing?
Yeah. Yep.
We have that drawing?
Yep.
We do, okay. Thank you. All right.
We're here today to propose some new windows to the house, on the front of the house as well as on the back side of the house.
If you would introduce yourself. to the
Oh, I'm
record,
sorry, I'm
please.
Angela from Letary Construction on behalf of 544 Hedges Lane. Mr. Antillo, architect, is on with us as well. And we are here proposing new windows for the front and back of the old barn, as well as minor renovations on the interior of the house to move the front door forward to allow us to put a new basement stair down. The existing basement stair was quite dangerous. It was very narrow and it was a winder. And so we want to move that front door forward to the front of the house and do a straight stair next to code. That also required us to move a bathroom, just change an existing bathroom from one hall across the hallway so that we could get that stair.
Thank you.
What's happening with
This
this
is a barn
building?
at one time.
Well, it doesn't show nothing on the proposed. Where,
What's that?
what is this behind the shrub here?
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's not the same building.
Well, we took the greenery out. We had all the
I
greenery
understand.
in some places and then we took it out. We're really trying to maintain, the old barn, keeping all the old beams on the inside.
Is this Allard, used to be the Allardyce property, yes?
It's the Avenue property, yes, 544 Hedges.
No, it used to be Pamela Friedman.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, I thought you said Avenue.
It doesn't matter.
You're thinking the one with Jimmy, whatchamacallit?
No, it's not the same thing at all.
Okay.
All right, so let's continue this. I'm on page 6. Can you explain the new structure there?
So on page 6, there's nothing going on in the front of that's existing. So that's the existing kitchen, and it's just behind the bush on the other.
This, it's not, and nothing's happening there.
And nothing's happening.
That's correct.
On the main barn, we are adding the windows. You'll see that there are currently 6 windows
Yes.
on the top of there. We're now making them all uniform across the top.
Mhm. It looks like little tiny stalls in the barn with a cow with a horse with would have a view, so you could see what was going on outside.
Upstairs.
You had to find the bales of straw. Okay, so going to the back. That's considerably different. So can we start off with what's there? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so currently there's a two-story existing living room space with a two-story window. And so the thesis is to flank that two-story window with another two-story volume to create a symmetry across the back.
So there are 3 large panels now.
Right, and one, no, there's one large panel now, the middle one right now is.
No, I mean, there's proposed to be 3 large.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
And this is, in the existing, is it one large piece of glass or is it 2 with a support across?
There's an existing wood beam horizontally across there, and then there's 2 sets of single pane glass. So we're removing all that and going back with new divided light windows, which will be sliders.
But 3 of them.
Correct.
And
So
the-
effectively where the barn doors are currently, that becomes a window. And then to the left of the window that's there becomes the window.
Right, another one, yeah, I got that part. Are they matching in dimension to what is existing?
Yes.
So you're tripling the emission, is that correct?
Of that, yes, of that bay, correct.
The outline tree in our diagrams is outlined for what purpose?
We just wanted to say that that was remaining. So when we toggle between the 2 drawings, you can see that.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, so what is the light emission on the proposed? The light emission on the existing?
So the existing on the rear is 14% light emission and the proposed is 32%.
And what page is this information on?
It's not included in this packet, but I believe, Andrew, you updated that elevation while we were online here.
Okay, we'll need that.
Which we'll send to you. Yep. Mhm. And then on the front, the existing was 5% and it goes to 7.4%. And the key for the client was to create a more symmetrical rear facade, take advantage of the large backyard that he has. Obviously, it's a 5-acre parcel. And really keen to open up the house to the backyard.
Do you know approximately how far you are to the 2 houses that would be affected by this additional glazing?
Sure.
Is there,
That was like 374 feet from the back.
These
of the
2
house.
would be.
The
I
2
don't know.
side ones are,
What page are you on?
I'm on.
Page 3?
Page 3 can show it.
Yeah. But I don't have it. It's not the site plans or anything.
the surveys in the very back as well, to give you an idea last week.
So we're about 374 feet from the back of the house to the rear property line. So another 30 feet to the rear neighbor. So almost 400 feet away. And then our side neighbor were about 84 feet to the property line, and then another, let's call it 50 feet.
We're speaking about the neighbor to the east?
The one to the east, correct. To the east, correct. To the west is Old Barn Lane.
Right.
Right. Mhm.
Okay. Any opening comments on the increase to the back from board members?
So page 11 is what's there now,
Right.
and what you want there is what's on page 12.
It's a big increase.
Yeah,
But
it
it
is,
is quite a long way from the two houses that would be affected.
Well, the other idea I
Page 12
have
is
is,
what you want,
yes,
yes.
but the tree is covering up part of the third panel.
Yeah.
Okay, if you go one more page, the tree's on the picture.
Yeah, so
There
we're
you
getting
go.
rid of that beautiful white barn board doors.
Yep.
We're keeping them, but they're just not going, he's gonna try to reuse them somewhere else.
I see. What I would suggest is maybe get us the light calculations and
Okay,
so
we did
forth
send
on
that.
file.
Okay.
And then we'll distribute that to the board, and maybe a site visit might be of interest for the board as well.
Well, how much of those back windows is that tree actually cover?
I'm sorry?
The tree only has leaves in the summer.
Yes, I
Oh.
realize that, Thomas. It covers one, maybe of the two in the
Yeah.
summer, of the three.
It's gigantic.
Yeah, the existing view is accurate, obviously.
You can see it there. That's a real.
Right, it's accurate in the summer. When there are leaves.
Would you consider doubling the class instead of tripling it?
We looked at a lot of different options with the client. And he's pretty set on having the symmetry of this volume and having all that glass on the back of the house. One of the things is that, which you can see in the site plan to the right of this image, which is clipped off in the photograph, is an existing studio, gym building, a fitness building to the side there. So that really blocks the light, any light that's coming from the side. We also had nighttime views. Andrew, maybe turn to that from Old Barn Lane, which gives you a sense for views from our neighbors. So there's really very little, if any, light pollution coming from the proposed project.
Big tree around the back.
I could trees don't do a thing for us in the winter. So they don't- So,
Mrs. Megan, may I ask if the fence with the roses is staying?
Yeah,
Yes, that's existing.
That's staying?
yeah. Yep.
That's from Old Barn Lane, that's the side.
Let's see if we can-
Mhm. That's good.
Okay, very good. I think the site visit will help us understand and get a clear concept of what the impact of this will be. And then we'll discuss that third panel with great clarity. All right. Very good. I think we did notice that the structure, which might be the gym, does that have a long line of skylights?
Existing, correct. Mhm.
Right. When was that permitted? Do you recall or have any records on that?
We'll have to take, we did get a foil done, so I could look at the other COs and see what.
That would be interesting. Thank you. Very good. Is there a motion to adjourn till next month?
Hey, can I just make a
Yes, Nick, sorry.
question or comment?
Sure.
Could we go back to the proposed versus existing on the I guess the front of the barn, the front of the structure, just very quickly? I'm just curious on the, I guess I'm just in love with the old grid for that series of windows and the scale there. I'm not seeing very clearly, are those muntins in the new, and are they roughly the same proportion as the existing?
So the existing, so we increased these by 25% effectively. We dropped the sill down. They're the same width. They're just slightly taller.
Mhm. And so those are, they're existing
So it goes
four.
from a 4 panel to a 6 panel.
I see.
Mhm.
And just curious, what, I see you're changing it to a gray, but have you considered doing something other than a white? It looks like you're using a white corner board and white trim.
Well, the existing is white corner board or white trim. This, the shingles are staying. We're just replacing the windows.
It just changes the nature so much of the, you know, it's such a beautiful modeled, old, weathered, natural look currently. I don't know. Something.
Are you talking about the shingles, Nick? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm talking about the tonal quality of. It looks like you're staining the.
They're saying here that remains.
No, that just stays, Nick. Nick, there's no. It's just
the color of the rendering.
It's just the rendering. It's just the color of the rendering.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
and the same with the roof.
Correct.
Okay, it's you can see how it appears like it's painted or it's an opaque trim.
I understand what you're saying.
But your point about the vocabulary of the windows is justified. It kind of takes off that edge of the stable. Yeah.
I didn't think of that.
That's why he's.
Those are my comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Nick. So we'll take all of that into consideration and let you know. Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
You guys want to see any of the construction of the windows, the Hopes windows? It's all steel, it's nice.
Yeah, well, if you could leave it, that would be good. Thank you. So we're site visit and we'll adjourn to the
Okay.
28th. Okay, thank you very much.
Do we schedule that site visit or?
How do you want to work it?
Doesn't matter, I'm just wondering. if it's
Okay,
something
um,
we
is there
schedule
someone-
and-
No,
Someone living there now?
Is there someone there now living there?
Yes, we have a current permit where we're doing structural stuff inside. We had started to do floor replacement
so
and
we'll have-
HVAC.
we'll have
It's turned into something.
Pat, contact you.
Okay.
And then we'll get some dates straightened out. Okay.
Great, thank you very much.
Yeah. Very good. And
You got a jerk?
yes, we did. Oh, Nick, yeah, we had voted and then Nick stopped there. Nick stopped me before we voted. Okay, so a vote for adjournment on 5:44?
Yes.
Yes, all those in favor? Aye, 1, 2, 3, hands up. Okay, good, thank you. We're back revisiting something that was submitted to the committee of 2, which wanted the full board's input on it. It is a application for new windows and doors at a beach cottage. And what was also requested was the addition of 2 skylights, which would face the south end of Sagaponic across farm fields, and also matching position on the front side of the roof, which faces the ocean. The address on that is 159 Trees Lane, part of the old Topping Farm. Yep. So, you are?
Yes, sorry, my first name is spelled E-R-E-K, last name is Shamwai from Atlantic Collaborative Construction Company.
Okay, very good. So a couple of us went down and looked at this as we reviewed for the committee of 2, where what I was surprised was really cautious approach to the large 3-panel skylight that faces towards Gibson. That one looks really a lot worse than some of the other windows, but you are not feeling any without it at all?
No, that skylight is the same as is.
Without any improvement.
Correct.
Okay.
Pre-existing and continuing to exist.
Yes, correct, yeah.
Okay, so having looked at the existing windows, I can see the need for addressing the issues there. What prompted the move from committee of 2 to the full board was the proposed skylights, and we've got some renderings of that appearance, which we can go to page 200 and 201, please. It's, no, it's going to be in the other packet, I think. These are just pictures of the existing windows for justification for the replacement. That, just go back one page, and I just want to clarify something. This particular page seemed to not be referred to in some of the plans. It was for a glass cupola, is that correct, on the roof?
Correct, that is not going to take place.
Right, but the question was, is how did it end up in the plans?
That was the first round that the designer had done. We had since resubmitted with the new design package.
Okay, but it was not referred to in the design
No.
package. Okay, very good. Just to clarify that, and so we'll go back. I am in a booklet. We'll get to the renderings on 202, 201. Abby? Okay, so
Yeah.
that's the set that faces the beach. Is that correct? Yeah, that's the beach side, and then the other
is the driveway side.
right, towards the pond and the houses. There are about 7 or 8 neighbors that see this directly from across the field. So can we go to the other? I think it might be the page before. There we go. That one is the side of the house that faces Mr. Tree's pond, or what used to be Mr. Tree's pond, and then Mr. Grant's pond. So that's the increase of visual light at the
What
beach.
is the size of those?
Those are 23 by 72. But it's a 2-panel.
Yeah, I see. So really 46 by 72.
Yes, correct. But there's a, good space between them, so there's at least 12 inches between them. It's probably not scaled.
Yeah, no, it's not
scaled
visible.
correctly, yes, correct.
How much is it?
Well, inside the house, there's some of the wooden beams that are on the ceiling. So the pieces of glass are going between the wooden beams. So the beams are about, maybe 8 to 10 inches wide.
Okay, so just on 101, I'm confused because they look really close together.
Well, they're gonna be spaced out more, I think is what you're saying.
Yes.
Than they are showing on them.
There we, yeah, no, it's another 101.
This is what I know.
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking at too. Might be in the other packet. The one that says January 24 in front.
January 27th. I don't have January 27th.
So the panels are thinner and longer than the one that's in the existing 3-part.
That's correct, yes. Yep.
It's in the other set of plans, I think. That one.
Right.
That's as far as it goes.
Okay, can you go to the previous page? Abby, previous page?
This is all that's in this packet. And then
See?
after this one,
Yeah, that's the early packet, but that's not the packet that has what I'm looking for now. It's dated
This is what-
24th of January.
Mhm.
On the front page. The one I'm looking for. That's not it. That's not dated. Anyway.
Okay.
Waiting for here.
We're trying to find this kind of information to put on the screen for clarification.
Can I add that last Saturday night, Don and I drove down to the very end of the road to look at the lights.
Mhm.
And I will say, all we saw was a smudge. And I would not be upset about the people facing this house that are facing the farm field. There's one house there, and the whole entire front of it is lit. It's
You
just,
mean the big house to the east?
I guess, it's just.
We were told that no one would even notice that house when they presented the plans for the house.
Oh. So.
Is that the one that looks like a ship sort of?
Mr. Wagner,
It's just a.
the next house to the east. They came in and said nobody would notice it. I remember that.
That one. If you're in this guy's house,
Yeah.
you come out the front door, it's what you see ahead of you.
You mean at the other end?
Houses, yes.
Those are all along the back. That was all done as the same development when Jim broke out that.
Right.
Okay.
Well, the night renderings were probably dusk.
We probably didn't do night renderings.
No, those I think were even pre-built. Okay, anyway, comments about this? While they're searching for this, this is still the,
No, this is the window,
analysis, yeah.
from Marvin.
We don't seem to have this with the skylights that we have in our package.
Okay, well, that kind of.
Well, we know
handicapped
what
us a
size
little bit.
they are.
Yeah, anyway. So, anyone have any comments? Do you want to go down and look at this? What's your feeling?
Are the skylights going to be frosted or clear glass?
Clear. But the house is set below the dunes, so if you're on the beach, you won't see it.
I'm familiar with the house.
Actually, she wants the house.
I do want it. But I can have it.
Yeah, this is all from the first packet. It's a separate.
Okay.
document.
Well, from my visit, I see.
Yeah, those long distance pictures are ones that I took walking along from the backside of the other Trees Road properties. So it's not as if it's not going to be noticed, and it's not as if it's going to be invisible from the
It certainly won't be invisible. No, but I didn't see anything to get all upset about. On Saturday night.
Well, it's also the winter.
Pardon me?
It's also the winter.
Even better. No leaves. in
I
the
know, but
trees and
people aren't here.
I'm here.
They're occupying the house, I'm saying. Where
No,
the house
somebody
is.
is there. I knocked on the door and I met him. This guy from Australia, he just bought it.
Mhm.
And he had all his lights on Saturday night
Mhm.
and it did not bother anybody that I could see.
Okay.
I'm fine with it. If we're moving on.
Okay, Nick, any comments?
No comments.
Okay, Megan?
No comments. It looks fine to me.
Okay. We keep on clicking past that glass
The roll call.
tower, which just needs to be very securely understood that it's not part of this. What is the purpose of having the loft plans in there? Because it was a diagram that had some, is that where the three glass pieces that you're not dealing with are located?
I believe, yes.
Is that
I
correct?
believe so.
Okay, it's on page 101, the same page that we can't get on the other one.
And the other thing that we needed separate approval on was the color. We provided a pink sample before.
Yeah.
Can I see that?
I don't know whether you saw it.
What color is it?
It's that same type of baby bluish color on that door.
Sort of greenish color on the
Yeah,
left side
yeah.
door.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Not as quite as bright as that, but
Similar.
Well, I think we need to actually get a piece of wood painted.
no, we did provide it.
Do we have a piece of wood painted?
Yes.
Okay. That I don't remember seeing.
That's what I was saying.
Okay. Thank you.
So all the windows will be what I would call robin's egg blue.
I think, yes, but not the sills. It's just the frame of the window doors. Yes, correct, yes.
So that's much quieter.
Mhm.
Okay, what's that one?
I just gave you two different, color samples that the designer liked. One is, more of a bluish blue, and then the others are a lighter, a greenish blue.
Okay, and they're next to morning sky blue exterior, and then you have a morning sky blue interior.
Right.
Okay. But you're talking about using the exterior on
Yes.
the windows and all the sashes, etc.
Yes, but not the sills. The sills will be left mahogany color to gray as the rest of the house.
Okay. So these are 4 different choices to pick from, is that what you're saying?
Well, we're trying to match the inside paint, so we painted the interior paint along with the exterior paint just to make sure that the two colors match.
So this is the interior, this is the exterior.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now this one, it's called Healing Aloe.
Oh, that sounds good.
That sounds very good.
I like the blue so much.
I don't really, I mean, I prefer this one, but I think they look fun.
Did you want the other one?
Oh, I see it. I've seen it.
Okay.
Actually, I've seen it before.
Okay.
It's fun. It's like your mask.
Okay.
Thomas,
Yes, ma'am.
sorry to bother. I have to actually hop off at 2:15, so I just wanted to let you guys know that if there's anything I need to do.
A minute and a half. Any other comments on the color? No? Okay, good. Is there a motion to approve the skylights as presented?
I'll make it.
Or do you want to have some sense of a filtration to make them a little bit more, less brilliant? It's an option.
I'm happy with approving.
For clear or for filter?
Pardon me,
For clear or for filtered, so that
filtered on the skylights.
filtered, somewhat grayed or something, so it's a little bit dimmer emission?
So
Okay,
it doesn't go.
is that possible?
Sure.
Okay, could we get a sample of what you're proposing?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll adjourn for that sample. Is that an agreement? Nick, you're okay with that? Megan? All
So
right,
you're looking for a sample of what?
The glass.
of the skylight glass, which would be cast in some form of a light emission filter. Okay? Okay. All right, thank you very much. Is there a motion to adjourn? I'm sorry.
Is that gonna be a?
Adjourn.
The application.
No, we're gonna adjourn the application first, please.
Okay.
Committee of 2 or?
I think full board. Motion, yes?
Yes, I know.
Okay. All in favor of adjourning the application? Thank you. And thank you very much. Thank you. Yep. Committee of 2, because we're going to find out the filtration of the file. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. All right, is there someone who's available for committee of 2?
We have to do the gate again.
No, the
I
gate.
can do it.
The gate is coming close to. Next, you want to?
Tom, I can do it.
You can do it? Okay, that might be helpful with some of the stuff that we're looking at.
Yeah.
Nick and myself as committee of two. And thank you all. Please let us know when you're in the area for looking at that site visit. Okay?
I'll be out this weekend if we can do it then.
Okay.
I'm not here this weekend, but I'll be after that.
Okay, great.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Adjourn the meeting?
Adjourning the meeting, vote, motion,
Motion.
second, aye. All those in favor, bye. Thank you very much for your time, Megan. As well as feedback.
Okay, stop recording.
Yes, ma'am.